Oh no, I said I am.
Oh.
I'm waiting for my Facebook to catch up to start the party. Chat a party.
And then I'll be able to see if you pop in. Good morning. Is that you?
Nope.
Darn, it's not telling me who's coming in to the viewing today.
I'll do a share and start a watch party. And booyah! Party has begun.
So is that you in?
That is me.
Good morning. So, Facebook has launched their new live stream video service, which means I can no longer see who is coming into the video, which is a really a bummer. So if you would leave a little comment, just to say hi or how you're doing, so I can get an idea of who is here today. And hopefully they'll be updating.
Yeah, it doesn't show it on mine either. It only shows who's coming into my watch party. 7 people though.
Yes, there are 7 people. I can see that.
Okay. Weird.
Yeah, it's just the new way they're doing it, and I don't really know why. It definitely helps me to know who's coming in, so I can add little bits and pieces to the flow. Ooh. Alright, that's what that button does. Good morning, as you are coming in to watch the live stream. If you're going to be participating, please go ahead and say hi. Let me know how you're doing. And even if you're watching and you want to say hi, we always love hearing from you. And we'll just wait till about 9:05 as per our usual to let anyone joining us come in. And today for the practice, if you happen to have some of these items around, good morning Aunt Audrey, thank you for saying hi. It's good to see you this morning. So back to, if you happen to have either a bolster or a firm pillow like this one, that is an option for today. But again, everything we do you can do without props. Just if you happen to have this. If you also happen to have a couple of blocks, the blocks will go well with the bolster or pillow. And then lastly today, if you have a strap or a belt or a scarf, something to just give your arms a little extension, that would be helpful today. So a bolster or a firm pillow, a couple blocks, and a strap. And again, everything we're doing you can do without any of the props. I'm just going to add some offerings with these particular props today if you would like. You could also do it today without the props and then gather your props for a future time and add them in to get a little different experience. Good morning. If you're entering, please feel free to say hi, because I don't get the little icon anymore that tells me when folks are coming in. Joy, you must have a watch party going on too, because my guess is people are saying hi on your watch party.
I've got your mom and that's it.
My mom is in your watch party?
I don't know. It might have been a live video comment that shared over to it, but that's what it looks like.
She has not said hi yet.
Oh yes, then she has. She said hi in mine.
Mom's in Joel's watch party. Alright, well, it's 9:05. Let's go ahead and get started. What were you saying?
Nothing.
Yep,
that was it. I laughed.
You're laughing. Yes, my mom is in your watch party instead of on my Facebook. That is definitely amusing.
She has no idea. She says, I am so confused.
Tell her not to worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, actually, I can tell her not to worry about it because she's seen it.
She still sees you.
That's right. Good morning, Mom.
I think it stems down to how James was saying. It's just easier for them sometimes because the watch party has the active link.
Yep. Well, and that's a new thing, the active link feature. I can now add that to things. So, all right, let's go ahead and officially get started this morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Paige Alia, and Joel Chope behind me on acoustic today. And it is our absolute pleasure to be here with you and to bring this opportunity into your homes during a very unique time and kind of a first time for all of us to be experiencing during our stay at home. So we've both found that yoga and breathing, good morning Ashley, that yoga and breathing support us so much. And music, maybe above all else, enables us all to connect. So, I'm glad you're able to join, Ashley. We were just talking about how much we needed this today, too. So, one more time going over, if you happen to have some items around your house for props, again, not necessary, but if you have a firm pillow or a bolster, which is more like this, if you have a couple of blocks, great, and either a strap or a belt or a scarf, something to just give your arms a little extra length, a little extra reach. I'll give options to use these props today. So, today is a special day. It is a few different things today. For those celebrating Passover, it's the first full day of Passover, and my family, we held our Seder last night via video chat, which was unique. And it even included the children, my sister and myself and our partners, to look for the hidden matzah around the home. So it was a good way to connect even during this time. And today marks 1 year since my mother's mom and my grandmom passed away. So it's an interesting time to be separated from those we love when we are also experiencing grief. And I know that I'm not alone in that, and that there are many others who are and will go through similar things, whatever type of grief it might be. And so I thought I would share this beautiful quote from Rumi. Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because for those who love with their heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. So there's many different kinds of grief happening during this time. The losses of being able to connect with our people in person, the touch, the hug, to events being canceled and big changes happening. And this is a big time of change, a shift. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but we still move through processing grief in that. So, if you too are feeling a little bit of this, know that you're not alone. Alright, let's begin today, seated, and then we'll make our way onto our backs. So finding a comfortable way to sit, maybe bringing in the pillow or bolster under your hips, or even a blanket.
1 second. Mm-hmm. And Shelby, thank you for your kind words, and I'll share it with Paige when we're done. Thank you very much. It was very kind. Alright. You made me cry.
That's alright. Tears are okay here. So, finding a comfortable seat. Maybe if your hips can lift up just a little bit over your knees. See how that feels this morning. Just allowing a little more space in this area. And give your shoulders a couple of rolls up, down, and back. Just kind of noticing how they're feeling. If there's some tension you've been holding, maybe shift a little side to side. Can you feel along the sides of your rib cage here? How do those muscles feel? How do the shoulder blades feel? If you squeeze your shoulder blades back and then shift them forward. Then very gently tipping the chin forward and lifting it up and back. And then finding that place where the chin is level with the floor. And this may not feel like your normal spot for holding your head, but finding that level spot and then slightly sending the head back today. I kind of think about a chicken or a duck as they walk and they kind of, their heads wobble forward and back. We're looking for that back spot. And what this does is it brings all of our vertebrae stacked, one on top of another. And this also connects us to our throat a little bit more in yoga. The bandhas is what we call that. And it's just creating connection from the floor all the way up. So keep going up now through the top of your head, letting that reach toward the sky, the stars, the sun and moon. And let your arms come to rest on your legs. They could be palms down or up. And if you choose, you could gently close your eyes. Or you can leave your eyes open. You could have a soft gaze. Let your eyes get a little rest in some way in this moment. And now just breathe. Because that is all you need to do today. Be here and breathe. Noticing where you feel your breath today. Where do you feel it the most? Take a moment and just evaluate. Where do you feel your breath the most? You don't have to change anything about your breath, just seeing what's there. Maybe it's across the shoulders or the upper chest. Or maybe you feel it in the ribs. What about the low belly? Often as we feel anxiety and stress coming up, we stop breathing in the lower part, and our breathing becomes quite shallow and ends up in our upper chest, very shallow. So for today, let's see if we can bring the breath downward into the low belly, into the ribs. So begin now, breathing and imagining that breath flowing all the way down to the low belly, so that when you breathe in, your low belly expands like a balloon. And when you breathe out, it gently releases back. And this might feel odd or funny. It might feel very normal for you. All of these, okay. Breathing in, let that belly expand. Breathing out, contract it, hug it towards your spine. Filling up like balloons. Slowly empty. One breath at a time. And maybe already noticing a shift in how your breath feels, in how you feel. Consider setting an intention for your practice today. Maybe checking in with what would support you today? What do you need to invite a little more of into your life? So for example, if you felt a lot of uncertainty, maybe inviting in clarity. Or if you have that feeling of anxiety coming up, invite in what would soothe that anxiety for you. Maybe feeling grounded or connected. It can be something broad like this. You don't have to know the specific of what exactly would bring that in, just the intention in this moment. Now let's all raise our hands up. Bring the thumb into the hands and then wrap the fingers around the thumb. And then let the hands rest on the lap. This is a yoga pose for the hands. We have hundreds of these poses just for the hands. And there are intentions behind this. So tucking the thumb into the hands like this, the intention is to ground us, to let us feel a little stable and secure. And then just breathing. So it gives us something to do with our hands in this moment. Your palms could be up or down. See what feels better. Try both. And then continuing to hold this. Feel nice and long again if you've maybe slouched. Take an inhale. And with your next exhale, tip your right ear toward your right shoulder. It doesn't need to be the full extent. Maybe think about 80% effort today. Breathing in. And breathing out. And on your next inhale, bring your head back to neutral. And then as you exhale, tip your left ear toward the left shoulder. Notice if you're clenching your teeth. Can you unhinge your jaw? Let the upper and lower teeth separate. And breathe here. Notice if you're leaning toward the left and bring yourself straight again. On the next inhale, bring the head back to neutral. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lifting and tipping back just as far as it feels comfortable. So you should still be able to comfortably swallow. Exhale, chin to chest one more time. Inhale, slowly bring the head back to neutral. Exhale, right ear toward right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, left to left. Inhale to center. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, slowly lift and tip back. Exhale, chin to chest again. Inhale to center. Exhale, right to the right. Pausing here now. Take the nose a little bit more toward that right armpit. So as if the ear was still trying to stay toward the shoulder and turning so the nose points a little more toward the armpit. And then rock the ear back toward the shoulder. Nose toward the armpit. Ear toward the shoulder. Nose toward the armpit. Pausing here. With your chin now, tuck it and draw a line to the center of your chest. And then bring your head up to neutral. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Nose toward the left armpit. Ear toward shoulder. Nose toward the armpit. Here toward the shoulder. Pausing this time with the nose toward the armpit. Breathing. And slowly trace a line with the chin to the center of the chest. And then gently bring it up. Good. Release the hand posture. And bring your hands to your shoulders. Your elbows can go out to the sides. Now, if you want, you can do one at a time. Begin circling the elbows. Maybe doing both. And these can start fairly small. And then grow, swinging the shoulders. Letting the elbows come a little bit more forward. Imagine the elbows reaching back. Just kind of noticing any tight spots, tension. Are there clicks? Do you feel something sliding over a bone? And again, thinking 80% effort here. And at some point, reversing directions. If you've been doing one shoulder, maybe switch to the other shoulder. Noticing the scapula, the shoulder blades. Can you feel how they move as you move your shoulders, your elbows? You could even reach back with a hand touching a scapula and feeling that floating part of you moving. Keep breathing. One more time. Letting the shoulders settle down into their pockets. Release the hands down to the lap. And slide the hands down to cup your knees. If you've been sitting in one position, maybe before you bring your hands to your knees, switch positions of the legs. Whether you send the legs long or crisscross the other way, whatever you choose here. And then have the hands on your knees. Now, lean back, scooping back, so that you're on your tailbone, and then tuck your chin towards your chest. Your hands stay on your knees, your arms are as straight as you can keep them. And then as you inhale, reverse this, lean forward so the pelvis tips forward, the tailbone tips back, your heart leans forward, squeeze your shoulder blades back, and as you do that, slide your hands up the legs to the hip crease, and lift your head up. I'm going to put that all together. As you exhale, scoop the belly back, lean back, hands to the knees, chin to the chest. Inhale, hands will slide up, squeeze the shoulders back, lift the chin, lift the heart, squeeze shoulders. And following your breath now, let your breath guide this movement. It doesn't need to be at my pace. Lifting up one more time. And then coming back to neutral. Take some circles here with your torso. Maybe exhale as you swing forward. Inhale as you lean back. And reverse directions. Back to center now. Good. So we're going to be making our way onto our back, but I want to show you a couple of the things we're going to do there, just because once you're on your back, it's a little bit harder to see. Eventually, we'll be doing a movement that essentially is like hugging yourself. So for that, you'll open your arms out to a T, Then you'll reach them in front of you, directly over your heart. Then bend the elbows. One arm's going to stack on top of the other. And the hands are going to reach toward the outsides of the shoulders. Not the tops of the shoulders today. The outsides. As if you were going to reach all the way back and grab a hold of your shoulder blades. So your elbows may be farther away or they're reaching towards one another. That's okay. Wherever they're at. From here, once the hands find a spot to rest either on the upper arm or on the shoulder, or even reaching way back to the shoulder blade, you have the opportunity to maybe lift the elbows a little bit. Alright? And then we'll reverse it and have the opposite arm on top. Okay? So that's one of the movements we'll be doing on the back. Another one is a long reach, where one hand will travel down by the hip and the other hand is going to reach back as far as it can up to along your ear. And gravity's going to assist us a little bit with this. It's going to help us reach with our arms. And here, the elbows can totally bend slightly. They don't need to be at their full extension. Alright? So those are a couple of the movements we'll be doing. The other movement we'll be doing is, on our back, we'll be creating halos around us, kind of like if you were playing on a beach and doing like sand angels, or maybe with snow and snow angels. So sweeping the arms open wide and then letting the elbows bend as much as we need as we sweep them up and back, and then coming back down. So this whole time as we're on our backs, gravity will be gently drawing the arms a little bit more toward the earth. Alright, so this is where some of the tools, the props, can come in. So if you happen to have a firm pillow or a bolster, I'm going to demo this with the pillow, and you happen to have blocks, the blocks can go the top of your mat at whatever height you choose. I tend to go with the highest height for the back one and then the middle height for the front one, or the low one. And then laying that pillow or bolster on those blocks. So it's just bringing the pillow in at an angle. And then for that, your backside comes right up to the pillow. So you want it touching your back, planting your feet, and then lean back and letting your head rest on that pillow. Now, if you don't have the blocks, but you still want a pillow, you can do that. And just letting the pillow be there. And just making sure your head is on the pillow here. So it's just lifting you up just a little bit across the chest. And then of course, all of this can be done flat on your back as well. And that's where I'm going to go for demoing for this moment. So you have the option of building your beach chair or making your way onto your back. And then once you're there, you can plant your feet with bent knees. You could send your legs long. Another option is to let the bottoms of your feet come together and your knees open wide, like a butterfly. And let's start with our hands down by our hips, palms facing the sky. And here's where we're going to begin those halo sweeps. So when you're ready to next inhale, let the backs of your hands stay connected to the earth for as long as they will. Begin to inhale and sweep the arms up, out to the sides, and then back over your head, and you might notice something in the way you can move items. And the elbows can bend here, let them. And then as you exhale, sweeping all the way back down that same line that you traveled up, back down by your sides. So inhales, rising. Exhales, letting the arms travel back down by the hips. At your pace now. Your eyes open and closed. Breathing softly, smoothly, a little bit longer. Notice how the movement is feeling. Where do you feel it? What do you notice? Is one arm further away from the floor than another? Maybe you notice a little more ease for one. If there's a spot you feel would be nice to pause, give yourself permission to pause. Give yourself permission to flow. What serves you right here, right now. Breathing in. Breathing out. Notice what's on your heart and what's on your mind. Know that it's okay to have things on your mind or on your heart. See if you can notice when you start thinking. Be mindful in your thinking. And then invite yourself back to the breath. For example, I noticed that even while teaching, my mind had wandered off. I was thinking about how much my grandma loved yoga in her 90s when she began. And she would visit and share with me some of the yoga she had learned. Breathing in, breathing out. The next time your hands float down by your hips, pause there. And see if in this moment, with each exhale, if you can allow and imagine your bones sinking a little bit more with each exhale, as if they were sighing with relief. Now, reach both arms up toward the ceiling, letting the arms straighten. And then turn the palms to face one another and stack the wrists over the elbows, over the shoulders, so the palms are not touching here. And whether you're on a pillow or on the floor, notice where your shoulder blades are. They're maybe resting on the floor, on the pillow, and maybe you notice, oh, they weren't resting. That's okay. Let's all lift the shoulders up. Keep the head planted where it is. Keep the arms straight, and as you exhale, sink the shoulder blades into the floor or into your pillow as much as they will go in this moment. Keep the arms straight. You might notice your hands widen a little bit. That's okay. Inhale, reach up, lift the shoulders, the shoulder blades up off of your floor or pillow. Exhale to sink them down. Now at your pace, inhale, finding the lift. Exhale, sink them downward. One more lift. This time when you sink them down, keep them there. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let the left hand float down by your left hip and reach the right hand toward the back of the room so that the arm comes up along the ear. And here too, your elbows can bend. Inhale, bring the arms up to center. Exhale, left hand back, right hand down by the hip. See how slowly you can move in this moment. Letting the breath guide. Letting the movement last the whole breath. So that as you exhale, your hands just get to their final spot before you begin to inhale and reverse. Now you might notice a pause in your breath. Let it be there if it is. And then notice what your arms are doing as you move them. Are your palms turning? Your shoulders? What way do your arms naturally want to turn? And just checking in. Maybe they turn in or out or up or down. Let's meet back at center. Now this time, maintain the palms facing one another as you float one hand up, one hand down. So they're facing toward your midline, towards your body. And see what you notice different between this and how you were naturally moving. Maybe this was how you were naturally moving. That's okay too. For example, when I reach one arm back, naturally my palm wants to turn toward the ceiling. But now I'm holding it toward my body, and I can feel the muscles a little bit more in my shoulder. Let's meet at center once again. Take your time getting there. And this time, turn both palms to face away from your torso and see if you can maintain that to the best of your ability. Inhale at center, sinking the shoulders. Exhale to float one hand down by the hip. Reach one hand back. And you might notice, okay, the hand by the hip floats down, but that hand reaching back, it hits a spot and doesn't go any further. That's for some of us. Others might find this open or somewhere in between. Try the other direction now if you haven't already. Just kind of noticing. Rotation of our shoulders. Try it one or two more times. Did you notice big differences? Let's meet at center. Turn the palms to face one another again. Reach the hands up. Sink the shoulders. Reach up. And sink the shoulders. Good. Now, and this is going to add a little more movement and maybe a little bit of a brain game. Continue to maintain the palms facing upward through the whole time. So that means starting with one palm facing the back of the room, one palm facing the front. So that the palms face up. And then there's going to have to be a rotation in the shoulders to switch at some point by you determine, so that the palms continue to face upward. Inhales to center, making your switch. Exhales, reaching up. Now as you get used to this pattern, this movement, can you allow it to slow down, to become a little softer and smoother? And tune into how it feels for your body How's it feel in the shoulders, the arms? Maybe you're noticing a little fatigue in the arms. You can let them rest too. Be mindful. Doing what serves you this morning. Take one more of these if you're moving. Let's meet back at center. Let the palms face one another. Now this time, reversing what we just did. So that you maintain the palms facing downward. So as you're ready, beginning, think about that. And notice, you might notice some differences right away in the amount of movement and the palms. They need to switch at some point to stay facing downward. Are you still breathing? Do one more time. We're going to meet at center. Make your way there. And then allow your arms to float down and open out to a T. If you're up on a pillow or bolster and the backs of your hands don't reach the floor in a T, float them a little bit closer towards your hip. And wherever you are, find a spot where your shoulders can rest and really sink, where the arms feel secure. So we might all lower our arms just a little bit more toward the earth. Breathing here. Noticing how the arms are feeling. From the thumb across each of the fingertips, back and forth. Notice the sensations. Where do you feel it? It's time for those hugs. Reach both arms up toward the sky again, palms face one another. Sink the shoulder blades into the floor or your bolster, your pillow. On your exhale, begin bending the elbows, crossing the arms. One's going to stack on top of the other, and reach the hands toward the outsides of the shoulders, letting the hands land on the biceps, the shoulders, or maybe you're feeling a little more open and you're reaching back as if you were going to grab a hold of those shoulder blades. Optional here, lifting the arms slightly toward the nose. Another option, you can gently rock a little side to side. And notice what this feels like, and if you notice any kind of tightness that made you kind of lose your connection with your breath, loosen a little bit, soften a little bit. Now, can you squeeze the muscles against the bones here, tightening up? And then let that go. Inhale, squeeze, hug the muscles onto the bones. And with an exhale, open mouth, let it go. One more time. Inhale, squeezing. Open mouth, let it go. And as you do, unwind the arms. Let them come back down by your sides or out to the side. And do you remember which arm you had on top? Let's see if you can. You probably naturally gravitated toward what feels most comfortable. We're going to go back up again, but this time cross the other way, so to feel the funny way. Reaching hands toward the outsides of the shoulders. Letting the hands rest on the bicep, the upper arm, the shoulders. You can add that little elbow lift. You can add the little side-to-side rocking. We're breathing. Find center. Just like before, hug the muscles to the bones. Inhale. Exhale, open mouth, let it go. Inhale, hug. Exhale. One more. Squeeze the muscles against the bones. And as you let go, open the arms up. And let the arms float all the way down by the hips. Good. Now, if you're up on a bolster or pillow, it's time to come off of that, to move the pillow and blocks and come down onto your back. So making your way there. If you're already on your back, you can hug your knees to your chest for a moment, wrapping your arms around the fronts or backs of the legs. And if you're moving your bolster, your blocks, take your time and meet us here on our backs, knees to chest. And if you have that strap or scarf or belt, have it nearby. And release the feet to the mat and find your strap, picking it up now. Take your feet as wide as the mat. And your arms are going to also go as wide as the mat. You're making an X shape with your body here on the floor. Holding the strap lightly. And go ahead and walk your left hand on the strap toward the right. And if you don't have a strap, you're just walking your left hand toward the right, but you're keeping it on the left side of your body, so it's not lifting up and over your head. And then use the right hand to gently, if you have a strap, draw both arms a little bit more toward the right. If you don't, just slide your right hand to your left and hold on to the left wrist. So without a strap, you could hold your left wrist, or with a strap, you're holding the strap and letting the strap guide the movement. And then you can bend the left knee, planting the left foot, and walk it over next to the right leg and slide it long. So we're making a little crescent moon shape with our body here. Option, cross the left ankle over the right ankle. See if you can let the left hip stay settled toward the floor here. The head's resting. Breathing. Softer. Smoother, a little bit longer. Do you remember those deeper belly breathing we were doing at the beginning? Bring that back now, if you haven't. So letting the low belly expand like a balloon with each breath in. Each breath out, gently compressing all the sterile air out of the lungs. very slowly begin to unwind and find your X once again. Widening your hands on the strap if you're using that. Maybe scooch the hips a little, lift one and then the other. We're going to go toward the left this time. So the left hand can slide up the strap. The left arm stays on the right arm slides up the strap. The right arm stays on the right side. If you don't have a strap, hold on to the right wrist with the left hand and gently draw it a little bit more toward the left. If you have the strap, left hand stays on the strap and the strap gently begins to draw your upper body toward the left a little more. The right knee bends, planting the foot and scooching it next to the left leg. Slide it long. Option, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Breathing here. Filling the belly and emptying. Breathing in. Breathing out. Another breath here. And slowly unwinding. Make your X one more time. Now, as you inhale, tighten every muscle in your body. Reach through the hands, point through the toes. Inhale, fill up. Open mouth. As you exhale, let everything sink. Inhale, fill, squeeze the muscles to the bones. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale, fill up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Fill the glutes, maybe even your back arches. And exhale, let it go. Now sweep the arms down by your sides. Maybe they rest on your torso. Maybe your legs come a little closer together. And find a comfortable way to be. Time now to invite a little stillness. Do you need a little more movement first? Maybe knees to chest. Or maybe bending the knees and planting the feet and rocking the knees side to side. Maybe you need another layer or blanket. Invite yourself now to find a place to get comfy. If you have a pillow, you can bring it in behind your knees. We'll come into our final resting now. For the next several minutes, allowing the movements from our practice to integrate. Allowing your muscles, our bones, our bodies to rest now. To receive the sounds being offered. To be here now, in this moment. One breath at a time. Be and breathe. Gently begin to invite subtle movement, fingers, toes, we run the thumb across the tips of the fingers once again. And taking all the time you need, perhaps inquiring with yourself what the most easeful way for you to return to seating would be. Finding your seat. I'll meet you there. Thank you all so much for joining Joel and me this morning. We're spending a little bit of time on breathing and moving. May we all know peace, wisdom, and serenity, allowing our hearts to be filled to support us as we need. Each practice we end with an ancient word that has many meanings. And the one that has connected for me is this. My heart sees the love and light in your heart, reflecting the same love and light in mine. And through this, we are all connected, and we are never alone. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining, for tuning in. As always, a comment, a share, a like, a review on Karmic Roots Yoga's Facebook business page, or financial contributions as you're able. Our info for financial contributions is in the description. Venmo or PayPal are the best options there. If you're local and want to also support another business, gift cards to other businesses are absolutely welcome. Just let us know where they are, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. We'll be back, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Yoga Nidra, so deep guided meditation and sound bath, so ambient tones with your meditation for Sunday. It's not a movement practice. It's entirely a resting practice. Great way to either end or start your week, depending on how you look at Sunday. And then we'll be back next week for more mindful movement as well as slow flow on Wednesday. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day.